this is an ice-breaking moment in Indo-Canadian relations. It's all good and we should be happy about it, but there is always a caveat. In Canada, the Khalistani influence over the body politic of Canada is significant. You go and talk to the average Canadian, they don't even know, right? They won't know. Now they just find the yellow flags irritating. This is a new India. It's the fourth largest economy in the world, soon to be the third largest economy in the world. It's a military power. You cannot take it lightly, especially after Operation Sindoor and what India has achieved in Operation Sindoor. You have to take and it is the fastest growing economy in the world. You would be monumentally stupid to spoil relations with India. Canada and India are actually the match made in heaven in terms of trade is concerned, in terms of value sharing is concerned. Well, we should start with cautious optimism because this is the Prime Minister's visit after 2015 or even before that, 15. So when Prime Minister Harper, that was the last time when Prime Minister Modi had come and he had met Prime Minister Harper. So we should be happy that this is happening and this is an ice-breaking moment in Indo-Canadian relations. But as they say, things go south in Canada very fast and we should be cautiously optimistic. We should be very careful about our assessment of what is happening, what could happen, what could not happen. As of now, Prime Minister Carney has not given us any reasons not to be happy with him. If we look at his election campaign, that is the entire last 2 months, or even before that, you will not see Prime Minister Carney having any Khalistani photo anywhere. I mean, if you can find one, do share it with me, but I could not. So we have to give him credit where it's due. He stayed away from those elements. So as far as India is concerned, that's a good starting point. Even when he took over as the Prime Minister from Justin Trudeau, people forget this is his second term technically, right? Not the first term. This is the second term. So even in the first term, the moment Prime Minister Carney came in, the hostility levels between India and Canada significantly reduced. Now we have reports of intelligence sharing, but I had broken it way before. I was one of the few was saying that intelligence sharing has started, and it started from the Canadian side, not from the Indian side. And these things are welcome. So overall, it's all good. I would say it's all good, and we should be happy about it. But there is always a caveat. In Canada, the Khalistani influence over the body politic of Canada is significant, and they will try to put pressure on the Canadian political class. But as of now, we should be happy.
Going forward, regarding the relationship, we have seen a slump in the relationship because of the Khalistanis, what they were trying to do. Your take, do you think it will move further and downplay the Khalistani angle in between the relationship of India and Canada, according to you?
Listen, I have never understood the Canadian love for Khalistan. I have never understood. It's not like they're gonna, if they're going to are they going to give a Khalistan in Canada? Then I understand. But the Canadian love for Khalistan has never been very clear for me. You go and talk to the average Canadian, they don't even know, right? They won't know. Now they just find the yellow flags irritating. That's what you will hear them saying, what are these yellow flags doing over here? They don't even understand it. They've only started getting educated since it got connected to immigration and it was a mix of that. As of now, it's very hard to say where and what and how of Khalistan should we expect as far as the Canadian perspective is concerned. Because Canadians always say it's a free speech issue. Well, if it's a free speech issue, why were the Canadian truckers not given that freedom, right? Just day before yesterday, you had people with Khalistan flags walking over the Parliament Hill in Ottawa. Now, that would not be allowed to the Canadian trucker. If the Canadian truckers who were protesting would have tried that, they would have been thrown in jail, their bank accounts would have been frozen. So it's not a free speech issue. Let's be very clear. This is not a free speech issue. This is selective freedom. It is a mix of geopolitics because they think it's a negotiating card on the table as far as the Americans are concerned, that we can negotiate a little bit with India. What they're negotiating, we don't know, but they think it is. And also it's a bit of, you have to look at it as the West looking at India as a soft state, as a small economy. And I think a lot of Western intelligentsia still carries that baggage. Because a lot of these people, just look at it. If you're a 65-year-old, you've had a long career of 35 years. In that career, most of the time you are not supposed to take India seriously. Now suddenly you have to take India seriously. So for that 65-year-old, old habits die hard. So these are the dinosaurs that are controlling the Canadian foreign policy here. Now the dinosaurs have to be told that this is a new India. It's the fourth largest economy in the world, soon to be the third largest economy in the world. It's a military power. You cannot take it lightly, especially after Operation Sindoor and what India has achieved in Operation Sindoor. You have to take and it is the fastest growing economy in the world. Now, what does Canada have? Canada has rare earth minerals, Canada has oil and natural gas. What does India want? These three things. You would be monumentally stupid to spoil relations with India. Canada and India are actually the match made in heaven in terms of trade is concerned, in terms of value sharing is concerned. We have a giant diaspora here. 7% of the Canadian population is of Indian origin. If you add other communities, it's even more. But of Indian origin, it's 7%. Now, why would you antagonize? And the irony is that if you go out and you poll Indians in Canada, whether Sikh, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, they're all fed up of the Khalistanis. But the Canadian political class seems to love them. So Harper was the aberration, and now Carney has come in as a surprise. Other than that, you look at Canadian history, they've always played footsie with this lot, and for some odd reason, I think it's a bit of a mistake from our end also. I think we've been poor as far as India is concerned in its communication strategy. That is my criticism of India. I think, and Indians get very touchy-feely when you criticize them, but you have to criticize them. I think it's been abysmal communication. The way to articulate points to a Western audience, to a Western political class has been lacking. And let's see how we go. I think we've done all the right moves over here. The Prime Minister coming over here for the G7, the joint statement issued on security concerns. Remember, the security concerns were not Canadian. They were Canada and India. So that means that what does it mean? India has only one security concern over here. It's the Khalistan issue. So that means Canada has promised us and assured us we'll look at it together. RCMP's head said that India is cooperating. We're very happy about it. These are all the right signs. So we are getting to hear what should have happened. And either now we have to conclude that Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh were a nightmare, and we just have to forget that nightmare. But I'll still point out that never underestimate the Khalistanis. They have a very significant influence because of how they rigged the Canadian primaries. How the Canadian primaries are rigged, so even when a candidate comes up, the probabilities of that candidate of Indian origin being a Khalistani are very high. That's why the Canadian political class tends to be very wary of these lot, because they punch way above their weight. You have to give credit where it's due, even if it's your adversary. And things will change soon. The last election was a very good sign, where a lot of people voted against this issue in our community. I'm talking about the diaspora, right? I'm not talking about general Caucasian white people over here, but I'm talking about the diaspora, Canadian diaspora. They were fed up, and there were a lot of voting on that issue. In fact, Pierre Poilievre's Diwali snafu actually cost him a lot of votes in and around Brampton, Mississauga, Surrey, and all those areas. He did lose significant votes because he, rubbed the entire diaspora the wrong way. But as of now, I think we have to see what we do post that. Abhi tak wo jisko, how do I say this? It's all good right now, but it's too good to be true is my state right now. So let's wait for a few months. Let's see how the cookie crumbles. If it stays like this, you can expect actually Indo-Canadian trade and Indo-Canadian relations taking new heights.
You talked about the foreign policy change. Like, do you believe there will be a shift in Canadian foreign policy? And will this regime take action against the Khalistani concerns, which we have raised over a period of time?
I think the change in Canadian foreign policy has got to do with what's happening in America and what Trump is doing to them. A lot of it has to be given to that point also. Secondly, Carney is not a career politician. He's not. So he does not carry that baggage. So right now he's not co-opted. So let's wait and see how much time does it take for him to be co-opted by these elements, or maybe he will not. He'll prove everyone wrong. He's a banker, he likes trade, he likes to do business, he sees India as an opportunity, he sees America threatening him. So that is what is happening on that bit. On the latter half of you meant sorry, what was
The Khalistanis, will this regime take action against the Khalistani?
Yeah.
Which we
So the joint statement was we will be sharing security concerns. So India has, I think, around 30 extradition requests approximately. I'm not giving you the exact number. I could pinpoint 26 for sure. One of them was Hardeep Singh Nijjar, so we're down to 25 in that list. But other than that, there were other people who were there. So if they extradite, that's when I will say things have happened. Until now, I don't see any movement in the extradition process. The Canadians keep coming up with excuses that, oh, Indians don't give us sufficient evidence. Well, I don't know about Canadian vetting standards because just last year they let a Nazi inside their parliament. And he was vetted, by the way. So it is what it is, but I will believe it when I see it. As of now, my answer would be no, I don't think so. The extraditions will go on. I think that should be one of the things I expect the government of India to be making part of the trade deal negotiations. Extraditions have to be a non-negotiable. You do this, then we trade with you.
Last up will of course be on trade. FTA, India has been doing FTAs with multiple countries as well. There were talks about the FTA with Canada, which was long due, but do you think there will be a movement in trade and business aspect as well, according to you?
There should be movement, but it should not be without India's national security concerns being dealt with. My biggest worry is that India might be like, Karni ji kitne अच्छे हैं, उन्होंने हमें बुलाया है, and then we just start trading with them. That would be my problem. My concern is that India falls for these, cushy words that come out of the Canadians' mouths, and we don't see any tangible results. Until and unless at least 5 or 6 hardened criminals of Indian origin that we've been demanding the Canadians to send us back are not sent back to India, we should not sign any trade deal.